This year's trade deadline wasn't the most exciting, and it kind of has people wondering if the magic of Trade Center is officially gone. Lots of teams did stay quiet, and other names that we thought might have been moved stayed with their respective clubs. Now, although it was kind of a boring day today, lots of teams were busy earlier on in the week, and there were winners and losers. Now, everyone's doing these lists, so why shouldn't the NHL flash? Here are our winners and losers of trade deadline day. All right, let's start off with the Chicago Blackhawks, a team that's on the top of everyone's winner list. They're already a powerhouse, but this week they got even better. GM Stan Bowman added Andrew Ladd, who won a cup with the club back in 2010. Dale Weiss, who has been a strong playoff performer in recent years with the Canadiens. Thomas Fleischmann, Christian Ehrhoff as a depth defender as well. With these additions, the Hawks are poised to win their fourth Stanley Cup in just 6 years. Okay, now let's call out our first loser. General Manager Don Sweeney of the Boston Bruins has me scratching my head again. What are you doing? He went out and added Lee Stempniak and John Michael Lyles from the New Jersey Devils and Carolina Hurricanes respectively for a combined 4 draft picks plus prospect Anthony Camara. Sure, the East is ripe for the taking, but I think the Bruins should be a little bit more concerned about the future instead of adding players who are over the hill. Not to mention not dishing Louis Eriksson as well. He probably could have made for some returns. Our next winner, I'm going to have to say the Toronto Maple Leafs are deserving of that title. Sure, the Leafs were unable to get rid of P.A. Parento, Tyler Bozak, Brad Boyes, and or Michael Grabner at the deadline, but they did get rid of a handful of players that weren't a part of the blueprint, plus they freed up cap space. Moving Phaneuf was something that many Leafs fans didn't see coming, and you can say the Leafs won that deal. Plus, the blue and white now have a whopping 14 draft picks in the upcoming draft. The free roster space will also allow Leafs prospects to get a taste of NHL action down the stretch. Our next loser, the Vancouver Canucks. The future isn't looking bright in Vancouver, and General Manager Jim Benning didn't do much to help that cause by not moving Dan Hamhuis and or Radim Vrbata. Now that they haven't been moved, both will walk from Vancouver without any return for the Canucks, and that sucks. 8 points out of a playoff spot, and it doesn't look like the Canucks have any shot at the postseason. They really got to start building for their future. Our next winner, the Florida Panthers. I really like what Dale Talon did here. I like the fact that Florida added some depth by going out to grab Yuri Hudler, Teddy Purcell, and Jakob Kindle, and they didn't have to give up a lot to get them. Fact of the matter is, the Panthers are in good standing heading into the playoffs, and they're a team that has a lot of young players who are already difference makers, with a ton more on the way. The Panthers very well could have a spot in at least the conference final this season, given how weak the Eastern Conference is. And our last loser to make the list, and this is a tentative one given what ends up happening with the Steven Stamkos deal, but I'm going to say the Tampa Bay Lightning. Once again, this all depends on what Steven Stamkos decides to do in the offseason. If he walks from the Lightning, there are going to be a lot of unhappy fans. Add the whole Jonathan Drouin case to the mix, and you're left with an overall disappointment on trade deadline day. This all being said, the Lightning do still have a shot to heat up and make a solid playoff push. And that'll do it. Feel free to comment below and let us know who your winners and losers were on the trade deadline. After a brief hiatus, the NHL Flash is coming back, producing a lot more content leading up to the playoffs. So hang tight, more videos are on their way. Until next time, I'm Tyson Geick.